I never imagined that someone I trusted completely could become the source of such chaos. My name is Jason, I'm 40, and I've been married to Melissa for 9 years. We have a 10-year-old daughter, and for most of our marriage, things had been stable. But one decision, one interaction changed everything. It started innocently. Melissa's best friend, Claire, had always been around, someone I considered a friend as well. She was bubbly, outgoing, and the kind of person who could make anyone laugh. I never thought twice when she invited me over for a casual drink while Melissa was out of town. But that night, something shifted. Claire's behavior became unnervingly personal. She leaned in too close, laughed at things that weren't funny, and complimented me in ways that felt intimate. At first, I thought I was overreacting, maybe reading too much into her actions. But then she made her move explicit. She touched my arm lingeringly, whispered suggestive things, and even suggested we could have some fun, since Melissa wasn't around. I froze. Shock, disbelief, and anger washed over me at once. "Claire, no," I said firmly. "This isn't appropriate. I'm married, and I love my wife." Her expression changed instantly, from playful to calculating. She smiled faintly and said nothing, but her eyes were sharp, almost pleased. The real storm came the next day. Melissa, who had trusted me completely, called me while I was at work. Her voice trembled. "Jason, I heard what happened yesterday. Is this true? Did you try something with Claire?" I was stunned. "Melissa, no. Nothing happened." I said no, I rejected her. "You have to believe me." But Melissa's voice didn't soften. Instead, it grew cold, accusatory. "She told me you didn't resist, Jason. She said you were flirting back, making her think she had a chance." My chest tightened. Lies. Simple, manipulative lies that turned my wife against me. I tried to explain, to calm her down, but every word seemed to fall on deaf ears. By the end of that call, Melissa was distant, suspicious, and guarded. I could feel the trust we had built over years crumbling in hours. What had started as a harmless social visit had transformed into a battlefield. And I was on the defensive, fighting to prove my honesty while someone else manipulated the truth with precision. The following days were unbearable. Melissa avoided eye contact. Her voice carried an edge I hadn't heard in years, and every small interaction was laced with suspicion. I tried to remain patient, hoping that the truth would eventually come through, but Claire's manipulation made it impossible. Every time Melissa spoke about the incident, she repeated the lies Claire had told. How I supposedly encouraged her, how I supposedly gave signals, how I supposedly betrayed our marriage. I kept my cool, though it was becoming harder with each passing day. I reminded myself that reacting angrily or defensively would only reinforce the narrative Claire was creating. I focused on my routines, my responsibilities, and maintaining normalcy in front of my daughter, Ella, who noticed the tension but didn't fully understand it. I couldn't let this situation affect her sense of security or our family life. One evening, I decided to confront Claire directly. I called her and asked her to meet at a neutral cafe. Her smile didn't falter as she waved me over. "Jason, so good to see you," she said, but I cut straight to the point. "Claire, I need you to be honest. Nothing happened between us, and I rejected you. Why are you twisting the story to Melissa?" She laughed lightly, almost as if I were the joke. "Oh, Jason, don't be so dramatic. I didn't twist anything. I just told her what I saw. She can interpret it however she wants." My stomach sank. She wasn't apologetic, wasn't remorseful. She was proud of the chaos she had created. Returning home, I knew I had to take a different approach. Arguments would achieve nothing. I began documenting everything: texts, times, dates, and any interactions that could prove my honesty. I couldn't rely solely on words anymore. I needed evidence to restore Melissa's trust. I also began small gestures to reconnect with Melissa in ways that didn't involve direct confrontation about Claire. Cooking her favorite meal, leaving notes for her to find, engaging in casual conversations about our daughter, and showing consistent care. I wanted to demonstrate, through actions rather than arguments, that my loyalty had never wavered. It wasn't an easy path. Every day carried the weight of suspicion, and every interaction with Claire was a potential minefield. But with patience, careful observation, and unwavering integrity, I started to notice subtle changes. Melissa's questions became less accusatory, her distance slightly shorter, and the tension, while still present, began to ease ever so slightly. Nearly a month later, I saw a breakthrough. Melissa came home one evening, visibly upset. She had spoken to a mutual friend who had been present during the incident with Claire. This friend confirmed exactly what had happened: my firm, respectful rejection, and Claire's inappropriate advances. Melissa's eyes widened with shock as she realized the truth. The trust that had been shaken so violently began to rebuild, brick by brick. She approached me cautiously, her voice quiet. "Jason, I can't believe she lied to me. I should have trusted you from the start." I took her hand, holding it firmly but gently. "Melissa, I never wanted to hurt you. I've always loved you, and I would never betray that." Her expression softened, a mixture of relief and regret washing over her face. I could see the weight of the past weeks lifting, but I knew the process of rebuilding would take time. Claire, on the other hand, had no idea the consequences of her actions. Her manipulation had backfired. Melissa's respect for me had deepened because of my consistent honesty and patience. I didn't retaliate against Claire. I simply maintained my boundaries, ensuring she could no longer interfere in our lives. Silence, integrity, and measured actions were far more powerful than confrontation. Over the next few weeks, our home slowly regained its balance. Melissa and I started spending time together without the shadow of suspicion. Conversations returned to normal. Laughter came more freely, and our daughter, Ella, noticed the calm. The lesson was clear. Trust is fragile, but honesty and patience can rebuild even the most shaken foundations. I also learned something about myself. I realized that when faced with manipulation and falsehood, reactionary anger is tempting but rarely productive. Instead, measured action, evidence, and consistent integrity win the long game. By stepping back, observing, and responding thoughtfully, I had preserved not only my marriage but my own peace of mind. Looking back now, I understand how close we came to unraveling entirely. A single lie, a single act of seduction, nearly destroyed years of trust and family stability. But patience, persistence, and unwavering honesty restored what was almost lost. Melissa and I emerged stronger, more connected, and more aware of the vulnerabilities within our relationship. In the end, the ordeal was a test, not just of our marriage but of character. Claire tried to destroy what we had, but she underestimated the power of truth and the strength of a man committed to doing what's right, even when no one else believes him. And that, more than anything, made all the difference.